really hard to put into words the significance of this accomplishment and what it means to not only our organization but really the entire community. It's been an amazing journey, as many of you here can certainly attest to, and there were a lot of times that things looked kind of bleak and it looked like we were right at the edge of things falling apart, but thanks to the core team and the believers that are here we are. Too many individuals to actually try to thank that were all involved, but there are some here today that I'd like to personally mention. And first, the Spotyslvania County folks. There's several of them here. The board, all of the different branches within that, the Parks and Recreation that we've had such a great relationship with and will continue to. They've been just a pillar of professionalism all the way around, and we can't thank them enough. So I'd like to give them a hand. If all of the county people would raise their hands. Also, I'd like to mention VYSA. They were unable to make it here. We know when they get going, it's going to be just a great partner and a great neighbor to have in here. Also, like to recognize John McManus, our counsel, has been great throughout this entire process. So thank you, John. And of course, I have to proudly thank our banker, Union Bank, Mr. Pete Humes. It's been a great process. I want to mention our first major sponsor, which is Kellogg's, and we're really excited about that. And if you look over there to that graded piece, that's Kellogg's field number 11. So that's where we started. Representing Kellogg's today is Mr. John Palmer, and all that you that know him, he is just completely involved in the community, not just with our organization, but with youth organizations all throughout Spotyslvania County. So let's give John a great big hand for all the help he has been. When I got here, I was like, where is Timmy? I can't find Timmy. And he's up in that big orange thing. Where'd it go? He was having a great time. We have no doubt that this park is going to set the standard when he's finished with it, and we're just thrilled to have him and thrilled to be working with him. So wherever you are, Timmy, say hello to him. Let's give him a hand. And this next gentleman, Mr. Gary Skinner, I could say that when this started, it was about 5 years ago. He was at the very first meeting. The project looked quite a bit different to where it ended up, but his enthusiasm, his passion, not just then, but the entire process. Every time we ran into a problem, when I called Gary, he was there for us to help, not just for our organization, VYSA, but the entire community, and his focus the entire time was not just his district, but the entire county. So Gary, thank you sincerely for everything you've done. And finally, I'm almost out, is the FASA executive board members, and not just them, but the staff, coaches, which are the heart and the backbone of the organization, the team managers, program directors, and that. We have an amazing staff, as you guys know, because many of you are part of that staff. But they have been there. I know our board throughout the process. There were times that I'd call them on a Friday afternoon and say, hey, we got to get together tonight. I've got to go over this information because we've got to make a decision. And they would drop what they were doing and come in and do that. So for the entire board, raise your hands real quick and let's give our board a mention. We'll get some pictures with them afterwards. And though all of them were important, I want to mention a couple. One I've got to mention is Julie McKeon, who has got the title of office manager, but that's about 2% of what she does. Everything else is everything else. So all of you know Julie because she has been amazing with the organization. So I want to recognize her and thank her for this, everything she does and has done. Also, as part of this, building the business plan, the financial side was pretty massive, as you can imagine. And our treasurer, Ms. Cree Blosser, has been amazing throughout the process, helping put the plan together. And I know Union had complimented her many times when they needed information. She got it to them in a very professional manner. So thank you, Cree. And last but certainly not least, the way I could describe this gentleman before I give his name is if it was not for him, I wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be here, and this wouldn't be happening. And that's Mr. David Richardson. Let's give him a huge hand. David has been a rock throughout this process. It would take me an hour to explain everything he's done, and he's been in for the whole ride. So the club owes him a debt of gratitude that will be hard to repay. Finally, I'd just like to introduce our club president, Mr. Matt Galligan, whose leadership has certainly been a big part in helping us get here.
I just want to thank everybody on behalf of the FASA board for coming out. As Pete said, it seems like it's been 5 years, but really, if you go back, it's been much, much longer than that. I hope everybody gets to shake each other's hands, introduce themselves. We have people here from the original board, executive board. I know, Mark, your dad's here, Mr. Bushman. Raise your hand. One of the original, I believe it wasn't in his dream. I mean, we didn't dream this big. We just wanted 2 fields that we could put our 6 or 8 teams on and play throughout a weekend and not really be bothered or have to beg, borrow, or steal to play someplace. And now we're talking about a massive complex, and it's, you know, it doesn't happen by accident. It's a lot of hard work. I think one person who you've met, Pete Cinalli, has been the driving force. This doesn't happen without the extraordinarily long hours, diligent work that Pete's put in on the project, and really the direction of the club as a whole. So thank you, Pete. Round of applause, please. And just let me say that on behalf of the players here, I know we have a couple. Thanks for skipping school and coming out. You've been outed. This is going to bring opportunity to so many thousands of kids, not just next year, but in the years to come, and not just from this area, but from up and down the East Coast. Stuff like that takes vision, and the next man really shared our vision. Without him, I know Pete mentioned him a little earlier, it doesn't happen, and that's Gary Skinner.
Thank you very much. And first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to this event. And Pete, I'd like to thank FASA. I mean, we look back 5 years ago when you had an opportunity to purchase some other land over by Patriot Park, and we offered this, and they stuck by us, and it's been 5 years of work, but those things that are worth waiting for really turn out good. And you'll see that this is an opportunity. This is a true partnership. When you think about landowners, developers, the county, VYSA, FASA, leading the way, okay? This is truly a partnership that's going to benefit everybody. I get all the coaches that take the time to teach our children. And I would like to see a round of applause for all those people. Please. And the last thing, let's not forget that those top words, soccer moms, okay? They're the ones that make sure the kids get to soccer on time and stuff of that nature. So moms, thank you very much. So on behalf of the county and everybody, this is true partnership. In 4 months, we're going to have a ribbon cutting here, and that's going to be exciting. And I think what this today does is also helps accelerate. Congratulations, Pete, for all the hard work. David, for everything you've done. John McManus, everybody that's been involved, thank you. You know, I'd like to yell out right now because I'm so excited about this. And I look out here and I see, Wednesday we were out here, there was a little bit of trimming doing, but now you come out here and you see Field 11, the Kellogg's field. You know, this is a reality. And the thing is, before you blink your eyes, you're going to see the ribbon cutting here. So, once again, thank you very much. And it's now my privilege to introduce a very close friend and a good friend, our newest senator from District 17, Senator Bryce Reeves.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, loved ones that are here today, it's such an honor and privilege again to be with you. As I was preparing some remarks for today, I started to think about what these fields will really do for us. And like a lot of my colleagues down at the General Assembly, I started thinking about the great economic benefit that these fields are going to bring to the surrounding businesses. And I was thrilled to think about the public-private partnerships that have taken place. But then, like Gary, I really started to think about what these fields are going to do. And, you know, in Richmond, we talk a lot about a classroom, education as a legislator and the cost associated with that value of education. But really, how do you put a price tag on the value of an education from competitive sports? You see, like Gary mentioned, our children are going to learn leadership, they're going to learn sportsmanship, triumph, they're going to learn defeat, perseverance, and communication. Our children gain valuable life lessons that are very hard to teach in a classroom, They can only be taught on the field of competition, where individual achievements are recognized by their contributions to the success and overall failure or victory of the teams and fellow players. You know, these fields are a proving ground to prepare our young people for the real world. As a world that, quite frankly, folks, it's competitive. We all know that. We're living in that environment right now. These fields are going to test the mettle of the players. They're going to test the limits of our young people. And none of that can happen without some key ingredients to the mix. Parents, coaches, family members, mentors, teachers, let me challenge and encourage you today to stay engaged in children's lives. You know, don't just be a fan and sit on the sideline. Get in the game. You know, as a former football player, I didn't play basketball. I wasn't tall enough, Gary. You know, I can always tell you my parents were always in the stands, and that makes a big difference, you know. I have a son that plays youth lacrosse with John's son over at the field house and for the Ravens, and you know, we're going through the same process that the soccer association is going through now, and you know, lacrosse is growing at such a fast rate, and I'm just thrilled to see that this field is here. But let me tell you, when you get engaged in children's lives and you do things like this project today, you help to foster the social moral values that will ultimately define the character of our youth. And those are hard to teach in a classroom, but they can be found on this field. You see, these fields are a lot more than dirt and grass. They really are truly the fields where we're going to grow our next crop of leaders. And I just want to thank you all for all the hard work. I know it's been a long and arduous process. I've talked to Gary quite a bit about some of these things. And let me just let you know, as your new senator, I've been drinking from the fire hose, but I think I kind of got it under control now. And I'd be happy to take any questions or any calls or anything that you all need. If there's something that's come up on the radar that I need to be made aware of, let me just tell you, we're here for you. We're here for you. And so let me just thank you again for the opportunity to just be part of this ceremony of such an auspicious occasion. And I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Closing, of all the various things that I'm involved in with the club, the different programs and the things that we do, the heart of what I am is a coach, and that's what drives me. That's the passion that drives me, and that kind of has brought me here, and I'm sure the rest of you guys, and that's what I care most about. And what I tell the players all the time is I believe there's really no limits to what you can accomplish. I had to bring a shirt, because as a coach we have a lot of special sayings that we put on t-shirts and posters and some other stuff, and of all the thousands that I've had, this one kind of means the most. So I'll read it so I don't get it wrong. Only those that risk going too far can possibly find out how far they can go. And I think that that truly sums up where we all are today. So thank you and congratulations.
What a day it is today. I never thought it would come. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this process. And another verb is prayer. And saying that, I would like to introduce someone to us that will actually do the blessing, and that is Kerry O'Neill. He is the area director for FCA. He's not a soccer player, but as you can tell, he's probably a basketball player. If he was a soccer player, we would put him in front of the net and tell the corner kicker to aim it for his head and deflect it in. So we have to raise the standard for this guy. Anyway, Kerry O'Neill.
Would you bow in prayer with me? Father, thank these things in Jesus' name, and everyone said, amen.
Okay, with that, we will take some pictures, and we hope to see everybody back at the office. There is stuff there.
Believe